My name is Shezeen, and I'm working as a faculty member at the business school at Lahore University of Management Sciences. By profession, I'm an MBA. I graduated from LUMS in 2004, and उसके बाद सिलसिला कुछ यूँ शुरू हुआ कि I decided to get into research. और research के अंदर कुछ मैंने 5 से 6 साल I did academic research with the business school only. And वो करते करते उसके बाद I ended up in a teaching position at LUMS. Undergraduate को पढ़ाया, executive education में I still am teaching. And वो 6 से 7 साल का अरसा कुछ निकला for teaching. And currently also I'm a faculty member at LUMS, but I'm pursuing my PhD. तो मेरा teaching load जो है इस वक्त थोड़ा सा minimum है. And I'm in a student mode these days. And so I'm pursuing my PhD. My PhD is in entrepreneurship and organization behavior. I'm doing it from University of Glasgow in Scotland, UK. And that is pretty much about it. But yes, if I say having a career in higher education, having a career in academia, and if that is the question, okay, how have I moved to this point? I think there were a lot of things that I believe I stumbled into, and there were some things that were planned. So things that I stumbled into was, in all honesty, after I graduated, I got married, and I came to Lahore. And my first thing was, okay, how about I pursue a degree? I go ahead with my master's, and I received a lot of support from my husband. और उसके साथ I did my MBA. MBA करने के बाद I had my firstborn, and on my graduation, my firstborn was 2 months old, and I always say that he's my MBA baby. So again, why I'm narrating all of this is, so these things I deliberately wanted to study, so that was something that I made a choice that I wanted to do an MBA. But उसके बाद जो कुछ हुआ, I think this was circumstantial. And one of the things that I have learned that वो कहते हैं ना, when life gives you lemon, make lemonade. Whatever resources and whatever opportunities you have, one should avail it. And at that time, my priority in life was I wanted to be a hands-on mother, and I wanted to be there for my children. And in doing that, research came across as a very flexible option to me. I went to one of my mentors at LUMS, and I told him that I want to stay close to academia. What is it that I can do over here? And he showed me the path, and he said, how about you conduct research? You start a career in research. And that's what I started doing. And this is not a very conventional path, by the way, which MBAs take. MBAs strive for a corporate career. They want to do a 9-to-5 job. They want to become CEOs right at the end of, within 5 years, they want to reach at the top of, the organizations that they are working for, which is excellent. But I think I took a rather unconventional route. But one of the things that I decided, and I was very clear of, that while I wanted to be a mother, and I wanted to be a full-time mother, a hands-on mother, but I never wanted my CV to have that gap. I wanted to do something that was intellectually challenging and stimulating. And I think that is what took me into the research career. And once I did that, I feel after 6 years of a lot of research, and some research that even got acclaimed and got published internationally, which is again, so that's something that gives you a lot of encouragement. उसके बाद I think वो होता है ना, when you reach a phase in life and then you say, what next? What more? And you always strive for something more. And at that time, I had 2 children by that time. And they were both school-going age. And all of a sudden, it felt that life has given me more time on my hands. And this happens to every woman. And I think that's the time in the stage in the career of, a mother or a parent, where you feel, okay, now you should ask yourself the question, what next? Because if you become complacent with what you're doing, and even if you're doing well, but I think that growth factor is very important. तो फिर उसके बाद, after 6 years, I said, now I want to get into teaching. And teaching in higher education was something that was really exciting for me. Doing my MBA from LUMS, I went through a process whereby I think every MBA student from a good university is at some point in time inspired by the teacher or the faculty member that has taught them. Because I think the fun about teaching in higher education is that knowledge is not stagnant. Knowledge is continuously being shaped, questioned, challenged by the people who are teaching it. And I think that is something where I say that some choices were deliberate. That is something that really excited me. And I said, I want to be part of this environment over here, which really allows me to be part of that ecosystem or that environment where you are very current and up to date with the new knowledge that is being produced every day, but you also become a contributor of new knowledge as a researcher. And that is something that took me into my teaching career. Yes, so I think what we just talked about explains very well the career progression, starting from an MBA, moving into research for 5 years, from research teaching for 7 years, and after 7 years again, for me it's always, okay, I've done teaching, but what next? And I want to be part of academia, so now it's PhD. So that's the career progression. In terms of the challenges, well, one way would be to say there were no challenges, because what ends well is, I think, is well, right? The story is good. I've reached here, so I would say challenges, I don't know. But there are some things that, particularly to the students, कुछ चीजें हैं जो मैं ज़रूर बताना चाहूँगी to our youth. When I was in my undergraduate program, it was a very well-reputed institution in Karachi. But it so happened that our affiliation got cancelled. It was affiliated with a foreign degree program. And हमारी affiliation cancel हो गई. And the university left us in the middle of nowhere. And that was something where a lot of my batchmates, some of them decided to quit. Some of them decided to start fresh. Some of them decided to just linger on and not do anything about it. At that time, I decided that I was midway through my undergraduate program. And while I was looking into options, a lot of options, one of the options that I came across was doing a private bachelor's. उस टाइम पे यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कराची का 2 साल का प्रोग्राम होता था BCom का. Academically, that program, it was not very robust. It's not something that I will say I learned something from, but that really became my license towards applying for my MBA degree at some point in time. So the message that I would want to give to a lot of students is that if at any point in time in your career, if something like this happens where due to any external situations, आपकी पढ़ाई रुक सकती है, या कोई एक challenging, कोई नया law आ जाए country के अंदर, right? So there are lots of things that are happening till today. Higher Education Commission keeps, creating new policies and laws, जिसकी वजह से we lose hope and we feel कि oh मेरे तो साल ज़ाया हो जाएंगे, I've done so much and I mean, what do I do right now? So I think the challenge that I think the biggest challenge that I faced at that time was giving X many number of years in my undergraduate degree program and not really being able to see that through. And I went for the private option. And I think when I look back, I think it was a wise choice. So I want to give this message to the youth, to our Jamaat, to all the people. Number one, अगर इस तरह की कोई भी situation होती है, seek out, reach people. There are always options. There's something or the other that will come your way. Do not give up. And just continue to do this. And I think continue to study in your own ways. So my field, which is in academia, in higher education, I think there is tremendous opportunity. where would be, I wouldn't be able to spot and I wouldn't be able to say this. There was this something that one of my professors said to me at one point in time. And he said, देखो कोई भी field है, किसी भी field के अंदर, there is always opportunity right at the top. अब पाकिस्तान की अगर आप situation देखते हैं, आज हमारे मुल्क में कितने डॉक्टर्स हैं, हमारे मुल्क में कितने लॉयर्स हैं, हमारे मुल्क में कितने टीचर्स हैं, राइट? कितने इंजीनियर्स हैं. बट अगर हम अपने आप से ये सवाल पूछते हैं कि इस फील्ड के अंदर बेस्ट डॉक्टर कौन है या बेस्ट लॉयर कौन है, तो कितने लोग हमारे माइंड में आते हैं? I feel very few people. So what I would want to say over here is that there is an opportunity in that the top segment of whatever you wish to do, whether you want to study English literature or whether even you want to go into Urdu literature, yeah, you want to go into Islamic studies, whatever you pursue, whatever you want to do, there is always an opportunity and a space right at the top of the ladder. And I think that is what we should aspire. So we don't want to be any other teacher or we don't want to be any other doctor or lawyer, but we want to be the best in what we are doing. And I think if you can do that, that is where the opportunity is. Wow, I feel like I wish that I had a recipe book to give this. I'm sure nobody would have been able to give you this. But there are certain fundamentals, I think, which is by and large applicable to all fields, to everything that we think of. Success in any field. There is this researcher, her name is Angela Duckworth. Uski ek TED talk bhi hai, uski ek kitab bhi hai. And I came across that a few years ago. And usne ek lafz istemal kiya, grit. G-R-I-T. And wo jo lafz hai na, I think the day I read her book and I went through her research, it changed my fundamentals in philosophy of how I used to think. And how she defines grit is that she says, if you have a particular goal in mind, and if you work towards that particular goal consistently, persistently, day after day, weeks after weeks, months after months, and years after years, that is something that distinguishes highly accomplished people from the people who have not accomplished. I think I would have to say that it is one of my PhD supervisors. Yes, so in one of the things that I really, what I like about her is that I tell her that she has 2 C's of leadership, and which are compassion and competency. It's a very rare combination to find in people. People who are extremely competent, they not always have the compassion to understand other people and their issues and challenges in life. And the other thing is that if people are too compassionate, then wo kahin na kahin unki competency is like a question mark. So it's a very rare combination for people to have compassion and competency together. And I'm very lucky to have a mentor like that. But I think if I think about it, I think for all Ismailis, it wouldn't be wrong to say that Maula is the source of inspiration. And because my area is organizational behavior, and I study a lot about leadership, and everything that the academics are talking about, that scholars have found out today, you can find that in the Imam, in the kind of work that he does, in the kind of vision that he has for all of us, in the kind of compassion that he has in his work. And I think that's very inspirational for all of us. So one of the things that I would like to say that I think let's change the mindset. Women, all human beings, all individuals face challenges. So it's not about that women face challenges. It's about how you take it. It's your mindset. It has become, in fact, very easy for women to work. because globally there is being there are talks on diversity. Globally, there are talks on inclusion. There, on a societal level, on a family level. So I think I would sort of first try to define the word success before I go to discussing attributing success to. So I think success, again, it's very subjective. It varies from people to people. So if success has even sort of touched by in anybody's life, and if I look at what success for me is, it is basically that, do I see myself better off than yesterday? Do I see myself better off than day before yesterday, a week ago, a year ago, 5 years ago? And if I think in some ways that I have evolved, then that to me is a very simple definition of success. Evolution is success. And if I go back, go around with that understanding of success, it's a process. And definitely, as Sultan Muhammad Shah has also said, that victory and failure is in the hands of God. It should be man's duty and joy to put in hard work and struggle. And the notion of grit that I talked about before, I think that has a lot. When you have a goal in your mind, you are mentally so driven towards achieving that goal that you develop that kind of mindset that chahe kuch bhi ho jaye, I want to work towards this goal. Then in that pathway, anything happens, you are mentally prepared for that. And I feel being gritty, if I were to say, if there is anything that I attribute to this process of evolution, is just being gritty about things. And this is what I would want to tell everybody around, especially the youngsters. Be gritty about whatever you want to do in life. Don't give up too soon. I think it might sound very cliched, but I think it's very true that you have to really enjoy something that you are doing. Because till you do not enjoy what you are doing, you really cannot be the best at it. So my advice would be, enjoy the process of discovering and continue to find out what excites you. So sometimes in this process of achieving our goals, we really do not acknowledge and register the opportunities that come our way. And I think that's one thing that I would want to tell everybody. All of us are in very unique situations. हमारे circumstances बहुत unique है. जिस किस्म के लोगों से हम मिलते हैं वो एक unique है. हमारी life histories बहुत unique है. और वो सारी unique चीजें जो है वो हम shape करती हैं. That what we are today, part and parcel of that. So this is something that I am now deliberately and mindfully focusing on. While there is a goal in mind, but जो life के circumstances है, जो life आपको opportunities दे रही है, जो life जिस लोगों से आप मिल रहे हैं, आप उन resources को capitalize करें, आप उनसे फायदा उठाएं, आप उनको part and parcel of your journey बनाएं, and you will be very, very surprised in the end, what might come out of it. Something even better and something even larger than the goal that you had thought about might come your way if you are mindful of the resources that you are surrounded by, and you use them effectively, and use it to drive you and use it to help you in achieving your goals. It's what stage of life that you are in. उसके हिसाब से I think advices भी change होती है. So there are two things that I'm currently in a frame of mind, and I think my advice would stem from that. My first thing is, I think if I look back and if I think that whatever has happened in my life in terms of professional growth, that has come from a deep connection with oneself. Now, why I particularly mention this, हम में से, especially today, and when we're talking about the youth, we are really surrounded by, we are cluttered by a lot of things that are happening around us at a very fast pace. हम सुबह उठते हैं, we really don't know our plans, and मोबाइल के ऊपर हमारा जो मैसेज आता है या SMS है, वो हमारा दिन, काफ़ी लोगों का वो जो दिन है उस हिसाब से planned out होता है. And we lose sight of the bigger picture. And what we start doing is that we really think that ये एक to-do list है, जो मुझे complete करनी है. So one of the things that I'm trying to say over here is that take out time to connect with yourself. And that take out time with connecting yourself could be either if you take out time for exercise during the day, or you take out time to meditate, or you just take out time to just sit peacefully in, surrounded by nature. 15 to 20 minutes of the day, which I feel is something very difficult to expect from today's youth. हमारे पास जब time होता है, we just scroll on social media. I think that is something, when you begin to connect with yourself, there are a lot of things that we begin to understand. So that is one of the things that I would like to say. Connect with yourself. Do not be influenced by what other people are saying or doing. First, ask yourself this question. What is it that you really want? What is it that you believe in? What is it that excites you? What is it that drives you? What is the kind of work that you want to do now, maybe 5 years down the lane? Where do you aspire to be in the next 10 years? All of these things only come when you start connecting with yourself. And you will have to take out deliberate time to connect with yourself.